Chris, you had said before the game you kind of urging Ant to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Is that the start, that
Sure.
flurry that you needed to see from him?
Yeah, absolutely. He's our leading light, and he's got to be aggressive, and he's got to be himself. And that's what we need. And I thought he played quick and clean. I thought we all did to start the game, and it was just really good, really fun to watch.
We've said a lot about Julius, but a plus 43, and he almost had a triple-double in the first half. Again, another just kind of star, giving you what you need there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best version of him. He's been great all season, and over the last run of games, his assists have been really, really high. His decision making's been quick. He's just kind of feel like he's in such a groove. He can get to wherever he wants to go and then make the play at the end of it. So really fun to watch.
So much to praise, but what are you most satisfied by in terms of what happened tonight?
I'm most satisfied by our beginning of the game defense. Particularly our off ball and the way we covered for each other, stepped up. They're a tough team to guard with their off ball movement. It's not always been a strength of ours. And that's really what I was most pleased with today, and just the ability to sustain that for large periods of time. So,
you mentioned before that one of the effects of the trade last year was maybe Jaden's offense took a different shape than you had maybe anticipated coming into the season. Is this the start that he's been off to this season, kind of what you had envisioned? And does that maybe cause you to maybe call more things for him, direct the ball into his hands a little more?
We've done. We definitely been directing the ball to him a little bit more, and he's playing in a good groove. His shot looks great. I think he's mixing it up. He's not just relying solely on his shot. To answer your first part of your question about what we anticipated coming into last season, I don't know what it exactly was going to look like, but we know that he has this in him, and we just have needed him to kind of keep growing, be aggressive, and when we have ball movement, he's going to have these games, and that's just that we've always said that, and that's the easiest way for us to get him involved.
Anything different with his shot this year? Or is it the same shot mechanics wise that you've always seen?
I feel like we have really good rhythm on offense. I think we have good spacing, and we have pretty good structure, and I just think he can anticipate where the pass is coming from, just that beat, so we can get set, and he's getting a lot of clean looks as a result. So.
Chris, we got a extended look at some of the deeper bench guys. I was curious, in your couple months you've had Yohan, what stood out to you about him, coaching him, and him as a person and player?
Well, he's a quick learner. He goes after everything. He's aggressive. I've used the word fearless with him before. He's still extremely raw, but he has feel, which is like a interesting combination for a young player. And with bigs, you don't often see that. But he's been great. Just his energy in practice. He's been really good for Rudy. He challenges Rudy all the time, and it's good to see him play some tonight. So.
What do you think has freed up the offense to this level, just in terms of the ball movement and spacing and everything? Do you think it's just continuing from last season, continuing to build off of that, or what have you seen?
I think there's certainly some of that. There's a comfort level. There's a trust level, I think, on the offense right now. Pablo's done an outstanding job of emphasizing more cutting and timely cuts and stuff like this. I think, of course, Julius being comfortable with his role in the offense is huge. So, and also just stressing pace more, because it's always been our case that when we play with pace, we might not score out of it, but it seems to kind of quicken our decision making. When we walk the ball up, that's when we do a lot of kind of standing and dribbling and waiting and all that kind of stuff. So,
has never been a high volume cutting team, but do you just think it's the timing and picking the right times to do it that is so key for you guys?
I think that's part of it too. I think being able to create space next to the ball a little bit, understanding when and where to cut, who to cut. Generally around Rudy, you want to keep a little bit more space, so a little bit more hold. But I think we have a better idea, which defenses require more cutting and which ones require more spread.
I know it's a question for the players, but do you sense their buy-in in general for this NBA Cup growing each year?
I do sense it amongst the league players. Yeah, I really do. I mean, players talk about it openly. I think it's a perfect shot in the arm at this point of the early start of the season, and I think it's been a great product since it's been put in. I think players understand it. They're but especially our guys. They talked about it last week, and we weren't even playing. They thought the Charlotte game was a cup game. So they thought we were playing on Friday, or Saturday. It's got to be a cup game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, maybe they don't understand all of it, but yeah. So.
Chris, when you're up 34 at the half, sometimes there's a tendency to backslide a little bit, but you're +3 in the quarter.
Yeah.
What does that show you about the maturity level really of this team to keep their foot on the gas?
That was the goal. You could see some sloppiness come in here and there, but they were never able to put together a run, so that helped us, and we were able to survive some of our own mistakes that way. But for the most part, guys came in, and including the final unit, grew the lead too. So that was a challenge in a cup game. We talked about the points differential might matter, and you got a chance to put 40 points in the bank. You should do it.